George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation at the Financial Empowerment Convention here with Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens. Good morning, and how are you doing today?
Good morning, I'm well.
Yeah.
Be here.
What did you have to say to the people today?
Today I had to say to the people that it's been folks like Michelle and Vicki Brackens who have for decades been telling us as a community to really be mindful of our financial power, not just how we spend our money, but how we invest our money.
Mm-hmm.
And so today is just a manifestation of just those years of them hitting us on the head saying, keep an eye on your financial power and your financial management. And I'm thrilled to see this going on today.
Yeah, it's something that she wanted to bring to this community, to this city, because she's going other places. And she said, why can't we do it here?
That's right.
That's the attitude that we have to have, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we underestimate ourselves as Syracuse. The world is looking at Syracuse. Absolutely, the nation, the state. And we have to understand our value. We have undervalued ourselves.
Yeah.
It's time for Syracuse to understand our value. The words of our mouth manifest our greatness. And so here we are at a time and a moment where we really see cranes in the sky. When was the last time we saw that? Cranes in the sky all over, from the university to downtown to in neighborhoods. Development happening. But what is critical is what I talked about earlier, that we cannot make the mistake that we did in the 90s when the factories started closing, GE, Miller, New Process Gear, downsizing, and people having to make the choice to either leave our community or take jobs that were under their skill value or underpaid. When I graduated from university in the late 80s in
Syracuse University
in the late 80s, my friends were the kids of those factory workers who had earned a middle class income to send their kids to college. And then those jobs began to go away. And there was no transition plan for repurposing that skill set. We cannot make that mistake now with Micron, with the residual companies coming in, with the transformation of the 81 project and the viaduct coming down and what is the potential for that area. The university growing, the hospitals growing.
Right.
I talked to Dr. Duran at the hospital, and he said most people think about the hospital that all you can do is be a doctor. There are so many technician positions at the hospital that you only have to go to school or training for a year.
Yeah.
And earn a living wage, family sustaining wage. That is what I'm most proud of in this whole environment we're in now, is keeping an eye on the workforce opportunities for people. But with that, you can earn more money and still be broke.
Okay. If you don't plan.
If you don't plan and execute, have a plan. We plan to go out, we plan to go to a festival, we plan to go on vacation, but we don't plan anything when it comes to our money.
Yeah.
And investment. In particular, people don't think about investment when it comes to us.
Right.
Do you own a home? That's an investment.
It is.
And whether you see value in your grandmother's old house on the South Side, somebody else sees value too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we find so many people in our community losing their homes because of tax delinquency, because they didn't pay the taxes, because there never was a living will that I can give my legacy to my children. Just because you move in it doesn't mean you own it.
So let's shift gears real quick. You're running for mayor. There was an article about the sisters supporting your opponent. What's your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are people have the right to support whom they want to. Was I disappointed? Of course I was, but I have to keep my focus on my race, and keep my eye on the prize.
Okay.
The prize is I joke and say there are two things I want on November 6th: to be the elected mayor and to still be married to my husband, who I'll be married to for 35 years.
Okay.
So it is, I'm focused. We're doing a great job. Our campaign is strong. We're moving. We did really well with petitions. We've been doing very well with fundraising. We're preparing as we go into the ground game now to send a message about who I am. Many people, because I'm not the mayor, said I've never really known Sharon or talked to Sharon. This is my time to get out in front of cameras like this one and say who I am, what I've done in this community for 40 years, an adopted daughter of this community. I chose Syracuse.
Yeah.
You know, many times when you're not born here, you feel, I wasn't born here. But you know what? Instead of going to New York and Philadelphia, I said I want to stay in Syracuse. And it was because of the people here. And I fell in love with one of the folks who were raised in Syracuse. That's why I chose this community.
All right, listen, we'll have you come on the show and we'll talk a little bit more about this mayoral race.
Yes.
But so thank you for stopping by. George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation. Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens here at the Financial Empowerment Convention.